If garden beans, cowpeas, and pea seeds are grown on their side, then the roots of the seeds will grow in the direction of gravity because of the hormone that regulates the plant, auxin. The independent variable is the horizontal placement of the seeds. The dependent variable is the roots growing in the direction of gravity. Constants include amount of water, dark environment, type of plant, and temperature. The control group is the seeds grown vertically. 2 trials were conducted. Materials include water, your choice of the type of seeds, paper towels, a clear container such as a glass or Ziploc bag, and a protractor, which is optional. Purchase dwarf gray sugar peas, contender garden beans, and California black-eyed cowpeas. Pour each of the 3 types of seeds in 3 separate glasses because each of them will need to be soaked for 12 to 24 hours. Obtain 12 ounces of water as it is necessary for the next step. Either fill each glass with 4 ounces of water or fill each glass until the seeds are fully submerged. Next, lightly dampen a paper towel. Surround the perimeter with that same paper towel. With crumpled wet paper towels, fill the hollow space in the center. Let's get started. The following series of clips demonstrate how the roots of 3 different seeds progress during this experiment. The control group can be identified because the stem and the roots grow vertically. The experimental group can be identified by looking for the horizontal root that curves until it becomes vertically downward. As seen in the data, although the seeds were grew horizontally, over time the roots of the seeds curved downward due to gravity.
Gravitropism is the movement or growth of a plant in response to gravity. When it's positive, the plant will grow in the direction of the gravity. When it's negative, they will grow in the opposite direction of gravity. This is caused because of the plant hormone, also called auxin, that plays a part in the gravitropism. The auxin prohibits cell elongation in the roots, which causes the roots to bend and down into the soil. Gravitropism also allows the plant to respond to gravity no matter what position the plant is in. The concentration of auxin is different between the upper half and the lower half of horizontally oriented seedlings. The higher amount of auxin in the lower halves of both coleoptile and root is essentially the same. The same is true about the lower concentration in the upper halves of coleoptile and a root. If the concentrations in differentials across the coleoptile and growth are the same, then the different responses must be due to differential responses. The more sensitive roots are stimulated by lower levels of auxin. Higher levels of auxin in lower halves result in the less stimulated growth, resulting in downward curvation. The less sensitive coleoptiles require higher levels of auxin to stimulate growth. Higher levels of auxin in lower halves result in more stimulated growth. Lower levels of auxin in upper halves result in less stimulated growth, resulting in an upward curvation, which is aka negative Gravitropism. In our data, the results came as the plant grew no matter what the angle it was positioned, and we decided to grow them at a 90-degree angle.
Curvature can be measured in two ways. The first step is to take a photo or video of the plant under observation. Using geometry and trigonometry, one can quantify curvature at any point. Using 2 points along the curve, complete a circle, then find the radius of the circle, which will also be the radius of the curvature. An alternative way to measure curvature is to use this equation. Keep these variables in mind. K equals curvature, dA equals change in root angle, dr equals change in root length. Therefore, K equals dA over dr.
According to the data and results, the hypothesis was supported. Since the plant in the experiment was positioned sideways, gravitropism occurred and made a 90-degree angle to the root facing downwards. The reason is because the root has cells at the tips of each root, and it grows towards gravity's pull. And these roots look for water and nutrients for the plant to grow and survive. One mistake that happened in the experiment is that some plants had mold. This caused them not to grow because the mold was taking the nutrients and water that the plant needed. Most of the plants did grow, however, and they all showed similar results. The roots grew down no matter what angle they were positioned.
The plant hormone mainly responsible for gravitropism is auxin. Auxin causes the elongation of plant cells and shoots and regulates plant growth. Auxin accumulates towards gravity on the lower side. As a result, the auxin inhibits growth on the side and causes the root to bend towards gravity. The structure that secretes auxin is the stem tip of the plant by root apex cells. The cells respond by detaching the direction of gravity through the movement and position of starch grains contained in the amyloplast of the cells called statocytes. Then the cells start to grow to make the curve and dive towards the direction of gravity. The experiment device show, like the discussion in the podcast of plants being able to sense without brains, that our plant was able to sense and determine all on its own which way to grow based on the direction of gravity alone. The podcast name talk about how through root network underground, plants in a given community can communicate to other plants through chemical stimuli, and based on this information, the plant produces a response to the stimuli. In a similar way, the plant in the experiment receives stimuli from the environment itself in the form of the direction of gravity, and the plants use the stimuli to adjust the way it grew to fit the direction of gravity.